White Shark Video Sharkcast. I am your host, Skylar Thomas. All right, we are back for part 2 with Dan Abbott, also known as Sharkman Dan. We are analyzing tiger shark attacks and whether or not they are attacks. How about if we switch to South Africa?
Okay.
Everything has been Fiji so far. It's like I'm doing a hate campaign against Fiji. It's not my intention. It's just the way it's going. So we know this guy. This is Mark Addison.
Okay, yeah. Had a lovely dinner at his house, I think, didn't we?
Yeah. And I think Mark's behind the camera. And you were talking about showing a shark the tank, giving the shark the tank. I don't know if that was this person's intention, but it sort of worked out that way. This is terrible quality footage, but this guy's flat on the ground and the tiger shark pretty much is just hitting his, well, I want to say he's hitting his tank, but there's plenty of opportunity to bite other stuff. Again, I don't know how these people are getting away with this. And I hate the way those fins are up like that. It's like, hey, come down and please take my feet off.
Why do you think the shark took an interest in this guy?
A great question. I wonder if Mark would tell us.
Because I'm not seeing, unlike the other two, I'm not seeing any like obvious bait. I mean, maybe it's just off camera, of course, but I'm not seeing any like obvious bait direction of travel.
That shark looks like he's interested and he's coming in for an investigation. He's coming down into the rocks just like we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
Scavenging. It's like, what's happening over here? I wonder if Walter Bernardus knows about this encounter and could tell us. Because do you remember Walter telling us about how the early days of them trying to learn how to dive with tiger sharks and nobody knew it was possible?
Yeah.
And they slowly got their confidence up. Boy, this day could have ruined everyone's confidence if it would have gone a little bit differently. I don't know. Is that shark not opening its mouth very wide? Tell me what you're thinking, Dan.
I don't know. It is hard to see from the angle and the quality, but even if it's not a bite, it's a very determined bump, isn't it? I just wonder why the shark chose this diver. I can't see any.
Look at the head movement. He's rummaging. Yeah, it looks like he's trying.
Yeah,
but
I think to be fair to the diver there, they do quite a good job of just getting themselves like down and flat, and as I said, like giving them the tank and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean,
they clearly haven't panicked as well. Like when the shark then swims off and you see the diver's face, they're actually looking fairly composed. Which
he looks extremely composed. I think he gives Mark a little nod here at the end.
Right. Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, everything's fine.
All good. Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. What are we swimming with next? Yeah.
Man, Mark was camera shy, so I don't think we can get him on here, but I'll ask him.
I wonder whether this, in the early days of the tiger shark dives, didn't Walter say something about they used to put themselves in like a little canyon or little like backs to the wall kind of thing?
As they were developing their confidence, as they were trying to figure out what you could get away with a tiger shark, yeah, they were sticking close to the rocks, little crevices. So as far as we know, we're watching strategy taking place here, being close, being flat to the ground like that. But
yeah,
I don't think those feet up in the air count as part of a successful strategy.
I think, is the diver just trying to stop himself from floating further out?
Probably. I know my feet do that. I'm not trying to sound like I would do any better. I
With
just
the size of those fins, if you had them both up like that, it's going to stop your forward motion. And if you've got a shark like that heading towards you, I would say one of the things on the top of your priority list is to stop your forward motion. So maybe that's because he is finning a little bit there, look,
so,
and
so
then
he's breaking. You're saying
yeah,
he's
yeah,
breaking.
exactly.
And if the tiger shark were to taste something, that's, like a foot of plastic before it reaches your feet. So
Yeah,
let the tiger shark taste the plastic and then move on.
yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts before we move on from this one?
Um, no, I think in this one, I feel like credit a bit to the diver there. That's I think they probably were quite aware of what was going on and what the right thing to do in that scenario was going to be. And yeah, and clearly it went well.
I'm going to jump in here with the clear advantage of post production review and show that the photographer in front, Mark, they're both named Mark, is actually aware of the tiger shark and is pointing the camera at the tiger shark, actually snaps a photo of the tiger shark, and then proceeds to tuck himself as low to the ground as possible. You know me, I still would like to give some credit to the tiger shark for not going for the foot, the butt, or the head, and just giving a little look and moving on. Maybe we can get Mark and Mark on the show someday in the future to talk about this. How about credit to Mark for
filming it,
for just filming and not trying to help
not trying to stick a big metal pole in the thing's mouth or redirect it.
So you've mentioned the Ocean Ramsey School of redirecting a few times. Are you making fun? You got something you want to get off your chest?
No, not really. Just that it seems to be coming up a lot. The practical act of redirecting a tiger shark and how effortless it is being made out to be.
Well, if it's effortless for anyone, it would be her and Juan because they are in the water with them daily.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. Juan looks pretty buff, but I don't know if that has anything to do with whether you can redirect.
You'd have to be a pretty confident tiger shark to pick a fight with one.
Yeah, I just don't know how much muscle matters underwater. Let's go. We've got more Fiji, but let's switch things up and let's go to the Bahamas. Actually, this is Florida. This is my footage. This is Jupiter. And that's me with my GoPro. And he's being nice enough to lead that shark right over my head. Nothing crazy happens right here, but I'm just showing it because the tiger's kind of pretty persistent. Look at this clumsy idiot kicking me in the face with his fins. It's like, can you please learn how to dive? See, he goes from that diver. There's that turnaround move.
Yeah.
There's that fake up and under, and he twists around behind him. And there's another turn. That tiger shark's making all kinds of turns.
It's much smaller than some of the others we've seen as well. Much younger.
There's the turn. I mean, how many turns did you count there?
Yeah, that's clearly interested in something in this animal.
It's pretty agile.
Yeah.
So you think being younger and smaller might help them be able to turn?
Well, and the curiosity, perhaps.
The willingness to investigate rather than be already bored of it.
maybe not for sure, but yeah, it could be a contributing factor. Just being completely driven by curiosity and getting fixated on something and wanting to make sure it gets as much of a view of it as possible.
So I'm going to rewind that bit one more time. I think a lot of people might jump on and say, "Oh, this is aggressive behavior." I might call it frustrated behavior because we'd been down there for a while. And
Right.
this tiger shark smells what it wants and cannot find what it wants.
Mm.
And after a while, you're like, okay, come on, where the heck is it? And do you see that hand on the right? He's got the big old piece of fish there.
Yeah.
All right, here's the big one. Wait for it. Interested? Here comes the up. And here comes the turn. Oh, I'm wrong. I don't know my own footage. Well, he did do all that, but he went up and over, but not the cutback. Here comes the cutback. And cutback. Again.
Wow.
And it's coming back again. I mean, that tiger shark, he's getting a little persistent.
Yeah, and you could argue hunger could be a reason why an animal is getting a bit more pushy, perhaps. I mean, again,
Look how quickly.
to be in the shark's corner here again for a second, it's doing what we're asking it to. It's
Well,
not
he's
doing
wasting
anything other than the foraging that tiger sharks are so good at.
And these divers are, of course, inviting the tiger shark to come to where they are and forage where they are.
Yeah.
With the scent box, with the bait box. And he's wasting time. He's wasting energy. Now it sounds like I'm advocating against shark tourism. I'm just being realistic about why a shark might want something to come out of his effort after a while.
Yeah, I think it's hard to really fully say what the shark is feeling because none of us speak shark. But you can understand any predator who is feeling some level of hunger to start getting frustrated if they can smell it and they know it's there somewhere, but they can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the same across all kinds of land predators as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not trying to understand the shark in terms of what's going on inside its head. As I said, we don't speak shark. It is just essentially a big fish. But you can understand when a predator gets frustrated at times. Yeah.
And we've got, you got an animal that's trying to find something. That's a pretty good reason not to take your eye off of it the second it goes past you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound like a know-it-all, but this is good advice. Don't assume that it's over because look where the diver's looking and look where the tiger shark is.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Again, it's the grace of God or the grace of tiger sharks that these people aren't being decapitated. It's not anything that we're doing on our end.
Yeah. That is for sure. And there's so many other things going on around the shark as well in the water, like the sound of the bubbles, the electricity coming off of the sound of you laughing, or the electronic fields that it will be detecting coming off of the cameras. Like its senses must be pretty charged, I would say, in this sort of environment.
A little overwhelming.
Possibly, yeah. I think if it was overwhelming, it would remove itself from the area. There's a lot to kind of process. Maybe for a young shark wants to get in and get out before a bigger shark turns up, perhaps, then it has to find its food fast, and it's got to kind of try and deal with all these new elements in its world that it's not used to dealing with.
Those are good points. Back to Fiji. Back to Fiji. There's another push redirecting into divers.
Wow, and interestingly, the push is forcing the shark to close its eye, close its membrane. So a direct result of you pushing the shark is making the shark go blind around divers who don't know how to redirect a shark. Look at that.
That diver doesn't even know. That diver does not even know.
He's still lying on the floor.
But yeah, the tiger shark's protecting his eyes as these things are touching it.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't far away from a
calf.
Wow. Yeah, man. That is insanely close.
I'm going to rip on the person who posted this. They tried to dramatize it, and they said an attack on an innocent diver. What makes a diver innocent versus?
Good question.
You know, why do you add these things? Or when they say a couple on their honeymoon, or a kid on school break, because the tiger shark got extra pleasure out of effing up somebody's honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you be innocent if you're down there in your I don't know.
Is being ignorantly unaware of your surroundings what innocent means?
Could be.
And again, I'm not saying I'm a great diver or that I see all the sharks around me. In fact, I go out of my way to show people, hey, look how many times a tiger shark or any shark could have killed me.
What do you think they should have done in that scenario to have avoided the shark getting that close to the diver's leg and a potential bite? How would that scenario play out differently?
By the time that footage started, it seems like it was already maybe too late, unless one of those divers was able to actually jump out in front of the tiger shark, use himself as a physical barrier, because you've got that big broad body in your hands. You've seen them do it enough times that, you know, tiger sharks don't just open their jaws and bite your entire torso in half. You know, it's hard to say because things are happening so fast.
Is there a certain technique with pushing the shark? So some people will say if you push the shark down, it's more likely to turn tighter, because they were clearly pushing it on the side, quite high up, quite close to the eye. So it wasn't really having any impact. But if you were to push on the snout and push down, do you think that would have made a difference?
Problem is they're already on the ocean floor. So you push the tiger shark down right into another obstacle. He's obviously going to react and come back up.
Yeah.
Back to your Ocean Ramsey School of Redirecting. They say to push down, but they're in open water out there in Hawaii. You know, they're up high, which is interesting in itself to have to watch for tiger sharks from, you know, multiple locations.
Underneath you.
But they're able to push the tiger shark down because there's just ocean underneath, and then lift their own bodies up as they redirect the shark away. You're not able to do that here. What would you do? What do you think?
If I was, which person am I in the scenario?
You're the diver.
The one that has no idea. I would do exactly the same.
You're also
the diver. He still doesn't know, does he?
I don't think so.
Right at the end of that video, he's still lying there in the same spot.
Dan, thanks for analyzing this footage with me, and thanks everyone for watching. We're want you to leave your comments. Tell us what we missed. Tell us what we were right or wrong.
And which species we should do next?
Indeed. Are we talking about encounters with another species, or just which species?
Shark bites.
Were any of these today? Were they attacks, Dan? After watching them?
No. No, of course not. Some of them weren't even close to being like anything. In fact, a lot of them were just misdirected sharks. No,
you almost have to blame the dive masters
being pushed onto people. Yeah, no, none of those were attacks. Absolutely not, 100%.
Okay, we're gonna do some more of these in the future. Again, give us feedback so that we can make them as good as we can. This is Skylar Thomas signing off, and
Dan Abbott signing off.